going to take his alley oop and dunk it, and go to another relationship that is in the news. And Gina, you actually mentioned this, but it kind of goes along with like what my question was going to be. And so it's about Travis Hunter. For anybody who does not know,
is that dude with the braids?
Travis Hunter is he was the second pick in the draft this past year. He recently got married to I guess his I don't know if it was high school sweetheart or whatever. And so it has been a lot of talk about the fact that I guess in the past she said that he wasn't really her type. And so people believe that this girl really does not like him, and is just with him because of his fame, his, earning potential. And so personally, I hope it goes well.
Yes.
I
pray for that poor baby.
I hope it goes well because I think that it's going to be a lot of people who is going to be giving this girl a lot of attention, just waiting for her to mess up, so they can all say that they're right. So you have, I think even there's been all kind of people who have chimed in on this. I think even his coach chimed in on it.
He did. He made her stand up.
Yeah.
When he was getting the Heisman.
And so my question is about how much effect does family, friends, and general public have on your relationship, your choice in the person, whether you stay with a person, how big, do anybody have veto power? Or is it just you? Should people have veto power? Should you listen to people? In this, because the one thing I have to say I like about this young fella is he don't care. He's standing with 10 toes down. He don't care what anybody say. And it takes a lot to be able to
have this many
people saying to you not to do something and to still roll with it and be and middle fingers to everybody. It's me and her.
Can I go first?
Is that the strength of his resolve or the strength of his foolishness?
That's a good point, and that's what we're about to explore. Because what is it? Is it resolve? Is it foolishness?
I want to go first on
How
this
much
one.
does? So what you got?
I had one of these, right? And I actually lost a friend because I decided to stay with the guy. So one of the guys that I dated, I used to talk about all the time. I was so crazy about him, right? And I was so crazy about him. Even to this day, I would not have changed anything, even though it didn't end up. But it ended up he died. So I'm glad we didn't wind up really staying together because that messed with my head anyway. Y'all know my husband was killed, so that whole thing. But anyway, I think the universe aligned that. But because of some of his past activities that I shared with everybody when I got with him, what I'm talking about. Because of some of his past activities that I had shared, everybody was like. And I don't like this term because people perceive everybody a different way, and they're like, well, he's not on your level and what you doing with him and blah, 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 this. It was just a whole lot of stuff everybody was saying. But I understood that he and I were different because I don't believe in anybody being better than anybody else. I think we all just different. We all the same, but we just different. We ain't no different levels, whatever. But, I was having a blast with him. I was having more fun with him than I had pretty much had with anybody except for my husband, right? I actually kind of put them on that same level. And it's a little hard to get to that level because it's a little hard to get to that level. And so I did not care at all what anybody else said. Yeah, my daddy met him. I don't let many people meet my daddy. My daddy was still alive then. I let my dad met him. And he called him Sasquatch because he was really big. I like big guys. But it didn't really matter what anybody said. So for me, nobody has veto power because this is my life and I'm living it. And if I have to pay the price with a heartbreak. And he's probably thinking, well, if I get we all had our heart broken before, right? And even though you don't really want that, but you do know you're going to live. After the first heartbreak, you learn that you're going to live. Even though we don't really want to go through that. I've had 2 heartbreaks in my life, and the first one was ridiculous, right? And the second one was him, right? The second one was him. So it did go the way it should have gone, because otherwise I would have been devastated when he died. But it didn't go the way that I thought it would go. So it was a heartbreak, but I knew I was going to live. And so the first heartbreak had me on the floor looking at the dust bunnies under my desk. I didn't go quite that far this time, the second time. But yeah, I don't think anybody should be able to tell you who to have, because another thing is y'all know how I think now. So we're all on our own journeys, and the universe aligns what we need, the experiences that we need to have to learn the lessons that we need to learn. This could be a lesson for him, or it could be a lesson for all the naysayers. We don't know what's going to happen with that. I've seen that. I mean, he's just a goofy little young boy with some money, right? And she could be, what is she?
What do you mean?
Is she black? What is she?
I don't know.
She's
No,
Caucasian.
she's not.
Is she
Is she
Caucasian?
straight white?
She's Hispanic.
I don't know
No,
if she's
she's
straight
She
white.
the-
No, she's
okay.
Hispanic because
But she's like,
she's Latina. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because I thought maybe she was one of those other cultures that came here from somewhere else, because a lot of them are trained to choose American
Yeah.
men.
So I didn't recognize
not
that she
because
was
they
mixed either. I
love
just
you
thought she
or
was
anything, but because
Latina,
it's a financial
Latinx.
come up. And some this world was built kind of on that. Women, you went and you gave the father some sheep and cows and stuff, and you got
Yes.
the woman. And then the woman lived, the man took care of everything. So it was a come up. You go to, the Passport Brothers and a lot of black men go over to these other cultures, and the dollar is, while one of our dollars is like 52 of their dollars. So you go over there and, you fronting like you a baller, but if you was back here, you'd be a little broke. But, you go over there, and these cultures are trained to cater to men. It's a lot of women that are trained to cater to men because they do have money, and that's just how the world is. So I don't know why people are saying no. She could, I was talking to my friend, he's kind of moved to Thailand at this point, but the women are trained. They're trained to cater to you, period.
I will say, when you said about not liking him, I immediately thought of Will and Jada. Remember, Jada said in an Oprah interview that she was more of a Tupac kind of rapper versus
We
a
all
Will
love
Smith.
Tupac. I like
Right.
Tupac.
I know. We all did that, right? So as soon as they said that about what the girl had said, I thought about them. I thought about them immediately too, right? And then I think about, now, is it I don't care what happens, I'm staying with them, or I don't care what happens, I'm leaving based on this. I think we've all done the both. Everybody doesn't like them, so I'm gonna make sure this works. Or everybody likes them, I just don't like them, and I'm like, I don't care what y'all say. So I think everybody has kind of done that at some point.
I think there's one person who should always have some influence on your decision.
Who?
The one you with.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right? So he don't have to listen to none of us. But if he's paying attention to her a little bit, he might see things differently. I would like to say that on the surface that, nobody else's opinion matters. And singularly, it doesn't. But I could deal with heartbreak much easier and much more effectively than I can deal with feeling stupid. Right? And I do understand that some of that is tied to outside perception, right? If you make a living based on giving people advice because you're known for making smart decisions, and they see you make several stupid decisions, you don't have a business anymore. You don't have a brand anymore because you make.
I couldn't build my brand on that because
You
I'm
make-
bound to.
That's
do
like
You make
I was
stupid
gonna say,
I'm
yeah.
bound to do some
decisions.
stupid. I'm
No,
human.
It's like a
you,
fat
that doesn't
doctor telling
mean
you to
never
watch your
wrong.
diet,
That doesn't mean
right?
never wrong. They practice in medicine.
Yes.
But if you just
Right, they practicing.
being foolish.
Yes.
So, again, I don't know all the details. Can't read this woman's heart. Can't read this
Yeah.
woman's mind.
Yeah.
But she expressed at some point before she decided to get with him that there was nothing attractive
About
about him to her.
She said that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what the line. That's what
She
the line was. Yeah.
dated a teammate and
Who didn't get drafted? Second.
who didn't
pick.
get drafted.
Second pick.
When their relationship first caught national attention and media attention because when he got drafted, she did what, Okira?
Not
She-
stand up.
She didn't stand up. She looked.
She didn't clap. She
She
was
didn't
just
clap.
like,
she just.
That was when he got
She
the
looked
Heisman.
very
Heisman.
the Heisman.
when he got the Heisman.
She looked very uninterested in what was going on with her.
Literally.
Like,
I'll show you the video. I'll send
yeah,
you the video.
it was a very.
She looked
bad look.
uninterested in the wedding pictures that I saw.
so
She
that's
didn't
another
look
thing
at
that
him or
just came
anything.
out, that he tried to kiss her at the wedding,
He
and
turned-
the picture looks like
She
she's
turned her head.
curving him. Now,
Yep.
a picture is that. It's just
Yes,
a picture.
yes.
So the context is not there for me. I'm not going to stand on that as concrete. But all these coincidences
Who's
are
the
adding
guy
up to
that
something.
tore it up? There's another. I don't know. He's on. I don't know what to say. A commentator or whatever who talked about. I mean, he degraded black men so bad. He said, "Oh, another one done got
Oh.
off the planet." You know what I'm talking about? And talked about him and another one that both married white women as soon within hours of getting their $100 million contracts.
Was that the Ryan Clark dude
Is that I don't know. I
that
just
was talking
happened to
about
see-
RB3?
he was
Is that
so
the same
hard at
situation?
it.
I mean RG3. Oh, what?
Was it?
I don't remember. I just thought you all might know, but he went in so hard that I did say, well, dang, he said, oh, another one. Within hours of getting their, $100 million contract, run off and marry a white girl.
'Cause we
He
giving
said their
that
family
money
is
back
coming
to
up.
their
He did. He
community.
said her family is coming. She's
Yeah.
coming up. Her family is coming up.
Yeah.
You think she's not going to take all her sisters and brothers and
Yeah,
parents
absolutely.
and be moving them in? And I said,
Yes.
well, I would hope so. But then the way he put it, I said,
Because the
You
black
hope
community
so.
is the black
Dang.
community doesn't support the black community.
So,
yeah. Talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing that was said about that too. Talk about letting the black dollar leave the leave the house within an
That's
hour.
very
'cause
real,
you just
though.
Gave it to the white girl. I
that's
said,
very real though.
I mean,
Y'all-
That's very real
That
though.
was a
I
major.
mean,
and we kind of touched on this earlier when we were talking about the NFL parties or whatever,
Right.
But on the subject of the white girl and the football players, a lot of athletes don't know how to actually go out, approach a girl, talk to her in a way to get her to like him, right? They're just used
She's
to.
trying to blame us now.
No, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just explaining men to y'all, right? And so they're used to women coming up to them, right? A man, if he walks into a room, he looks around and he see women, and 8 women don't look his way, and 1 woman looks his way and smiles, and he thinks she's attractive. Guess what? She is more likely to get approached by the guy. We look for green lights, and I'm sorry.
It's fair.
At these parties, at these colleges, the white girls are green lights. They not yellow. They not red. They are fluorescent
They all green.
green lights.
Fluorescent green.
And they are
They came up on you.
basically saying,
right.
what you want to do.
Right.
And it could be 1, 2, 3 of them. And basically, a man is going to go, most men are going to go the road with the least amount of hurdles.
So if they're fluorescent green lights, what are the black women?
That's what I said. He's gonna blame us.
No,
Are we at
no,
least
I'm not.
green? Are we yellow?
You said that we
I didn't-
we
make
not
you
glaring
earn
red.
it.
Time out. I didn't blame anybody.
That's just saying.
I am explaining
What
mentality.
color are we? What color are we?
I am explaining mentality.
What color are we?
Yellow.
Are we orange?
We yellow. Proceed with caution.
He was right.
ox blood red.
Y'all-
right.
Y'all are
Not even red light
'cause-
red.
No, I'm serious.
Indian red.
No,
Y'all-
but what you said is that we will make you earn it. We're gonna. Well, I'm not just going to run over to
Right.
you.
I'm telling you, y'all are yellow. Cause we all know. I mean, if you are influential, you got money or whatever. Most women are going right, but there's a difference between a green light and a yellow light. And so a yellow light is I could go through this thing, proceed with caution, right? But a green light is come on down. and they are and they are
Bob
run,
Barker.
and most the vast majority of men will date their environment. They are going to have sex with the woman who is closest and most willing. That's just because men, a lot of men are not hunters. You see 20% of men who probably really know how to approach women and talk to women. That's why you hear these things about, epidemic of men being lonely, is because now you got men online who now have to talk to strangers. These guys don't have to talk to strangers. These guys can sit on the wall and women surround them. And the reality is that the women that are closest to them are going to be white, especially because they're going to these all-white colleges. Their agents are white, and these agents are specifically putting these women
strategically
in their environment in order to take the money from the community.
To keep that
From the
money in the
community.
white
Come on,
community.
to the mic.
They want to keep that money. Come on up to the mic.
Yeah, that is so strategic all the way through.
You said what?
The stories are wrong. Number one, she's not white. Number one,
What is she?
she is mixed. She's black, Mexican, and Filipino, so she does have some black in her.
Oh,
So
Filipino.
who's the black?
Filipino,
Number
she's
two,
definitely
I don't know
trained.
that part, but
Right.
she's not white.
She's definitely
That
what?
doesn't-
Trained.
She's
that
trained.
doesn't-
Filipinos.
that
I was
does-
just having this conversation.
Yeah, but that's fine.
There's
Number
only
two,
two races to me. but-
They've been together since high school, right? And these people, these two kids, these are kids. Like, they younger than my son. They're like 23 something. So for somebody to say, "Oh, he wasn't my type," what's your type? You like 17, 18 years old. It's a dumb statement. So for black people, particularly black men and women, to kind of shit on their marriage is just crazy to me. A lot of these black men ain't never been married, and just because a woman left you and your feelings about it, and you ain't got no money. Did we get that on camera? Yeah, we did.
So did you just
so-
project something that doesn't exist in this situation onto this
it definitely
situation?
suggests- you know why? Because I've been reading this story and following on social media. You know I love social media, so I follow a lot of these things that a lot of the men are saying that he should have got a prenup, maybe from a financial standpoint, but they're
definitely
wishing,
Maybe.
they're wishing doom and gloom on their marriage because of what? Two young people. This girl ain't never been in this particular situation,
So she
don't
didn't even
how
know to clap.
act. She don't even know how to
I will
act.
grant you that. I said that too when I saw
she
it.
doesn't know how to
but-
act. So at the end of the day, you have to give her room to grow, right? You got to get her
She
room
will.
to grow.
She doesn't know to clap for her man
She
when he
is
wins the
under
Heisman
20, but
trophy.
You are coming, but just like media, they show different things. We don't know. I'm rooting for it. I'm rooting for them because this young man chose to marry this girl at 23 years old instead of going out, which a lot of young men do, white or black, and be a whore. So at the end of the day, he chose marriage instead of whoring
Honestly,
around.
I
he's
think
still
that
an
at 23
adolescent.
he should have been a whore.
Can I just
He
ask
should have
this,
chose
though?
the whore route.
But
I
I'm
think at
serious.
23
He's
he
an
chose the whore
adolescent.
route.
I don't
He's
think
still
he
an
should've.
Yes,
he's still an
because-
That's
adolescent.
the
and-
reason why the
listen.
black community is like it is.
No,
No,
let me
it's
tell you-
not. That's not the
let me tell
reason
you
why.
something.
The
And
reason,
I agree
but
with you.
I just want to say he's still an adolescent, right? So
Right.
everyone, your son included,
Right.
Your son included, happen to turn 18, go buy a lottery ticket, win $200 million, and by 22, right? He's 18, 4 years, he's 22, decides he wants to go marry someone that he's known for 4 years.
Right.
As a parent,
Right.
you're going to say, well, just give it a minute. Go out,
Why?
date.
No.
'Cause that's not being a
I
whore.
know you won't.
LeBron James married his high school
No. I'm
sweetheart.
talking about.
There
I'm
are
talking
always
about.
exceptions
We're
to
talking
the
about
rule.
two different things, though,
Time
right?
out.
It can, if there's
I
always
just want to say
exceptions,
this.
but that is an exception.
We're
still.
not
That's not
talking
the
about
rule.
people who have been growing together because the way I understood it and read it, he went to high school in Georgia, and that she didn't live in Georgia, right?
They've been
So-
together for, you got to fact
and
check.
again,
Yeah,
when he
fact-
says we've
Fact
been-
check it. Don't just say they've been
'Cause
together in
when
high
he-
school. Read
I was
all
just
in
going to
between
say
the lines.
because the two
Unless
things
the
did
media
not
is lying,
connect.
but I'm listening.
And the media would lie. What?
Right.
But let me
Never.
say something real quick. Let me just say something
Yeah,
real
but
quick.
I'm just saying this
I'm
as
gonna
parents,
speak
yeah.
to you from experience because I've been in relationships forever since I was 15, pretty much back to back. I spent 30 years of my life from 15 in relationships. To me now, looking back, that's the worst thing ever. I was married at 27, but I was in relationships the whole time. So what happens is you don't really even know what the hell you really want. You don't really know what you like. It's because you feel like getting married is the right thing to do. And this person is here. You like them now. Let's go ahead and get married. A lot of those marriages don't work because you're too young. So I know you probably know this because you fact check, but you know that the long-term thinking process in our brain doesn't start till after 25.
That's why you're
So
allowed to
if
stay on
this
your
boy
parents'
is
insurance
23
until
or
you're
whatever you said he
26.
was, he is not even able to really make a long-term decision. He does not know what things are going to affect him long-term. Like not getting a prenup, I would kick my son's ass until he got a He would have a prenup. I don't know who his mama is, but you need to kick his ass.
The only part that I agree with from a financial standpoint is the prenup. However, I don't disagree that they should not have gotten married young. The reason being is that we're projecting. Just because a lot of women and it's not myself included or men is old, never been married or divorced, that does not mean that is going to happen to these two young
I've been
people.
married and I'm not
None
divorced.
of that means that. You're right.
But we should
None of that means that.
be loving on them and wishing them well instead of speaking negativity over them. And he's going to have to learn his lesson. She's going to have to learn and grow into. There are 22, 23-year-old. There are a lot of exceptions to the rule. My parents were young when they got married. My parents were young when they got married. They were 19 or 20 years old. And my dad died married to my mother.
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
fair.
at the end of the day, there are people that do last despite
My
the ups
husband
and
died
downs.
married to me, but he was only 31.
Can I?
Yeah, but
So
we should
what-
be.
I'm
We
just
should
saying.
encourage because what is dating?
I don't
This
encourage
is a
them to
westernized.
get
This
married
is a westernized belief in terms
younger
of
than 20,
you should wait until you're
25.
40, 50 years old to
Not
get you a
40 or
husband
50.
or 30
Not
or
40
what
or
have you.
50.
If two young people want to get married,
30
they,
is
they,
good.
they can get guidance, they can get therapy, counseling, and begin their life journey and to have a family and build and grow together. If it doesn't work, that's fine. It doesn't work, but we should not be encouraging young people to go out there and sleep around. Because you can find yourself, in my opinion, if you want to find yourself while you are young. Why are we delaying
You can
marriage?
find yourself.
Why
but
are we delaying
what
it?
is,
To do what?
And
To
I'm not.
do
I'm not
what?
even
Can I-
talking about
may I-
sleeping
may I-
around. We're not talking about
May
sleeping
I-
around.
may
We're
I-
talking about
Sleep around.
dating. We talking
Yeah.
about dating
Dating
and
for what?
dating
I
and
got-
figuring out what you
I've been
want.
out here a long time dating.
Time
It
out.
ain't nothing out here. If I had a guy, I
Wait,
wish.
time out.
That's all right.
Every
Horrible.
everything you're saying,
Say it
you
again.
keep saying
I love dating.
You
I
get
love
it.
dating.
You
Dating
get
is
it.
fun.
everything you say, you keep saying I.
Can I?
One of the biggest mistakes people can make in this world, and it's not even just romance and dating anything, is to think that the bubble of their experience is the entire world.
Right.
None of us have dated even a
y'all doing the
millionth
same
of a
thing.
percentage. No, who's saying I? Just you.
Not me, I'm talking
saying
about
they,
people are putting them in a bubble
We're saying they.
of negativity, saying that this is going to happen, this is going to happen.
I don't know what's
We
going to
don't
happen.
know. You
Right.
get what
I'm just saying. I don't
Okay,
think
we
it's a
just
good idea to
said
get
we,
married that
so
young.
so
Oh.
no one has said
Right.
none of us has said she's gonna take his money. She's gonna do this to him. We said
I
that
think
he
that's gonna
should have got a
happen,
prenup, right? If their relationship works, a prenup doesn't adversely affect their marriage. It doesn't ruin everything. It doesn't diss her. It doesn't discredit her. It doesn't do anything but make a financial decision with a financial mind as
And
opposed
prenups
to
can
making
be
a
challenged,
financial
of course.
decision with a romantic mind. Make your romantic decision.
Oh my
You
God.
go, but
Come on.
Trinity
I'm
coming up.
not in the camera on purpose, but they can hear me. So, being that I am 26, if I'm looking back at 23, the first boyfriend that I've ever had, if I would have stayed with him and got married, because at the time, we just loved each other, I would be so sad at myself. Oh my gosh, so mad and annoyed.
Right.
But I think people should date. That's why as I'm growing into late 20s, I'm not dating because ever since I've been of dating age, I've always talked to somebody or had a long-term relationship, and I need to find myself as a young woman and what I want to do, what I like,
Yes.
and things of that sort. So I can see, dating young, you find your person, you marry them. If it works out, beautiful fairy tale. But from my personal opinion, just seeing what's on social media. And if you put it on social media, that's what we're going to do. We're going to judge. That's what it's for.
Yes.
So we can talk about it. But just the things I've seen, even her in interviews saying, oh, yeah, he used to drop me off at college parties and stay home. And I just used to party and then go, see another guy and he didn't know, then come back. From what
She
I'm
said
seeing,
that?
from what I'm seeing,
And they didn't get together in high school.
I'm not
They
100%
knew each other in high school.
backing him. I think he could be a little smarter and take a little more time. But anyways, my personal opinion, I think you should find yourself a little more. That's all.
I
All
agree.
right.
So yeah, so
Yeah,
fact check.
26
They
year
met
old.
in high school, and that's when she was dissing him and
Right.
all of that. They
This
were
is
not
what I-
together in high school. They dated through his 3 years in college, not.
This
in
is what
high
I
school.
wanted to say. Why
They
she,
met in high
why,
school.
You know, she wanted to come and
Once
tell
she
us
saw the
we
career
were,
was
we were
solidified.
wrong about everything.
NIL
Nobody
money.
knew actually her race, and we were all just trying to figure out what it's saying. But the thing is first of all, statistics show people who marry under 25 divorce more often. Second all, the person you name, LeBron James married his high school sweetheart. Do you know what LeBron James do in his private life? Okay, then. Kobe married early, too. We all know what Kobe did in his private life. You know, it came out because of the accusations of what he was doing. The reality is that it would probably be better for the young fella and the girl to at least live a year while he is in his profession.
Yes.
To understand what life is going to be like.
I bet you she
She doesn't-
marry me or I'm gone.
Neither one of I mean, and just as obviously outside looking in, nobody here I don't think does not want this thing to last. I hope they have a nice, healthy, marriage for the rest of their life. But everybody know what reality looks like. Everybody knows what happens. And I just think that neither one of them has shown a level of maturity that suggests that they even can handle this. Like you just said, when my man said, well, she didn't clap for him or, all of this. The first thing you said was, well, she's only 21 or she's only like she's not old enough to understand that she
Clapping.
should at least be happy
For your
for,
friends.
She can't
for the
understand
person
to clap
who's
for her
about
man.
to,
What else can she not
no, I'm just
You did say that.
No, time
Yeah.
out.
No,
time
you
out.
can't
No,
actually.
No.
Pause.
No, wait, hold
Pause.
on. Just hold on just for a second. You literally just said that she was too young to understand how she should present herself when her husband or future husband is being celebrated.
Not that. I'm talking about with the comments that she made. And I also said the media will kind of project what they want you to see. We was not there. At the end of the day.
Everybody
No,
can see a
we
video.
weren't
It was on-
where he's
it was
been
on camera.
awarded.
No, we were not
We didn't have to
there.
be there.
Everybody can see a video.
But we saw the video.
We
and
saw the video.
him
And it
test
wasn't a
her.
5-second clip.
His
And it
mother
wasn't a
jumped
5
up.
second-
His coach
Just
jumped
jumped up.
up. The room jumped up.
besides
and she was
her.
sitting.
Okay, so
Like, I mean, so
And I grant
And-
you. I agreed with you. I agreed with
listen,
you.
listen.
His attitude.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
like,
Yeah.
and so at the end of the day, maybe she should have gotten up and clapped.
Maybe,
all I'm
huh?
saying is there is
But
this
we biased.
negativity towards this
Yes.
young girl. That's all I'm saying. This is
Can I
negativity.
say?
No,
I
no,
really
no,
don't
no.
think it's negativity. versus
Observing
it's,
something is not the same thing as being
I don't
negative
know that
about
it's
it.
negative. I think.
I'm not saying y'all are negative.
No, I'm just
talking
saying
as
the
a whole.
society.
Yes.
I don't know if it's negativity as much as experience, right? Because every 22-year-old is like, yeah, she might love him. You don't know, right? But everybody else in this age range is like,
we know what
yeah,
that looks like.
we know what that looks like, right?
We know what it looked like.
That's like
Man, I don't
know
know
what
no
that look like.
22-year-olds that's saying
I'm
she
throwing-
might like him.
I'm throwing you under the bus with something really simple, right? When you got up and made me think about it, right? Like when I was your age, I could eat anything. Nothing ever stayed on me because I was 22, right? I was 26, right? Now at 58, right? I'm going, I can't even think about eating stuff without gaining the weight. That's just levels, years of experience. It doesn't mean that. Like lots of my girlfriends diet and exercise and look great and still wear body outfits like that with the thigh out and stuff. I'm just saying. Lots of my girlfriends do, right? But I'm just talking about experience and time and how that just makes us all have an opinion. But I think the best thing ever is that we all sitting up here talking about it. Got to go to our own jobs, got to drive
this man a
ourselves.
millionaire, and the white women, like y'all said, is snatching up these athletes young. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I feel, in my opinion, when you say black women in the black community is taught to delay marriage, and we see that our community is in shambles for
That's
a
not what
number
I
of
was taught.
reasons. For a number of reasons. It may not be just for marriage, but we have single parent households. We have people that are just running rampant. But you see in the other communities, not just the white communities,
Other
that put
communities.
marriage as a priority.
Yes.
Not to say that it's perfect.
No.
But their family dynamic is a little bit stronger.
That
right?
actually is not
all,
true.
All of the okay, you can dispute it all you want to.
No, it's
That's
it's
I'm not
true.
saying I'm not
Well,
saying it in
it may
a
not be.
negative way. I mean,
Yeah.
we can go back and forth on this, but if you look at the particular research, so why is that? Why are we suffering so my standpoint from these two young people, whether she's mixed race or not, that he chose the woman that he wanted to be, whether he got to grow, he got to bump his head, and maybe
Of
he'll bump
course.
his head in the marriage. Hopefully they can get a strong support system around them, and they can get the therapy or whatever they need, or maybe they won't.
May I just
and they
go
can
back to the
grow
black
old
community,
together.
though?
But why is everybody on these people?
Because
this-
it's social media and we got something to talk about. Everybody got an opinion, right?
Yeah.
But when you
It's
talk
just so
about we as
negative with them.
black women are taught to delay marriage, we're not necessarily taught that, right? And you're just like, oh, I'm to be a strong black woman. The biggest thing I
definitely wasn't taught that.
continuously go back and forth with about that, like, oh, we're single parents. Why are you a single parent? Very few. I will tell you, and you can look at the studies to show women, I just want to be by myself. Women who want to be by themselves and not want men in their lives, they go pay thousands of dollars. My girlfriend paid thousands of dollars to freeze eggs, to get a surrogate, another girlfriend to get a surrogate, or they go to a bar, meet somebody, and don't disturb them, right? When you're saying that black women just don't necessarily want to, that we're delaying marriage, we're not necessarily delaying marriage, because we've all kind of thought, like, we thought this was going to work. I ain't had his 2 kids for him to go marry that young girl over there as soon as he graduated and got his contract. Now, I don't know about this guy. I hope not. But how many times did we look up later? We're looking at all these beautiful marriages and then find out you see the family picture and there's a 26-year-old standing there. Because he had a girlfriend when he was 17. She's black, a full black kid,
A
right?
lot of families have that.
You got it, because when he was in high school before that happened, I'm just talking about delaying marriage.
I see.
We're not being taught to delay marriage. I will say, did you ever go to a PWI? Did you go to a predominantly white institution? Them girls come in.
Yep.
They come in
They
with
look-
an
they find their
agenda.
husbands.
Not
Their
no more.
parents. Well, I know, but still,
It's
they came
not no-
in.
it's not
I'm
no
saying
more.
not as much
White
anymore.
girls are being told to delay marriage until they are 30.
Well,
and up.
again,
Now, where you find that
we're just
information?
talking about.
I read it.
I'm talking
in a
about.
book.
No, I love it when people say. The one girl told me he was giving HIV to all these women. I said, "Ma'am, I'm a public health expert. I cannot confirm or deny what you read on the internet." She said it wasn't just on the internet. I looked it up. It wasn't just on Facebook. I looked. I said in the card catalog. Because everything is the internet now, right? But I just want to go back to when you're talking about delaying marriage. The delay of marriage versus the delay of being a parent, right, are two separate things. I want the girl to win. I promise you I do. I would love it for 20 years from now
I'd
for
love
them to
that for
say
them
that.
to make it.
We would
Yep.
love that for them.
That'd be great.
I think everybody is doing exactly what we're doing here. Looking at one couple being old now, I will say I'm
Putting
old,
our
laughing,
experience-
going, right, absolutely laughing,
our
going,
experience
bless
into
his
it.
heart. He
Right.
believes they're going to be together forever, right?
And we're
we
looking
want
at
that.
different things that the
Well,
media
if
has
we
put
go
out
back to
there.
the original
But
question,
it was still there to be put out.
should you let other people influence you? And what
That
did I
was
say?
the question.
Only
No.
one person. That's
Yes,
her.
sir.
Right?
Her.
The only person
Right.
should be
That was the
influencing
question.
whether or not Travis Hunter married
You
her
got it.
or got a prenup or anything is the experience that he's having with her. So I was doing a little reading while y'all were talking, right? So I tried to get some context around the picture where she ducked his kiss, right? He like kissed me right now. So they had professional lip readers read her lips to see what she said.
God, now again, that's the internet.
She said, "Not now. We gonna make love all night."
Oh,
That's what she said.
ouch.
Now,
Yeah, well, that's a tactic. Look, I'm a chick, and so I know chick tactics. I know how to.
No, that's what I'm
women,
saying.
we know
Yeah.
how.
my
to
humble
kinda
opinion is that if he
manipulate
was
those
paying
situations.
attention to her, I don't think she tricking him in any type of way. I think he is totally signed up to be foolish.
He is
himself.
totally signed up.
That
Yeah.
somebody had to
totally signed
somebody
up.
had to tell her she was being foolish because of the type of money he was gonna make. That she totally
Yes,
initially
yes.
didn't care what. Or
Yes.
wasn't paying enough attention to know
So,
what
you
direction
know,
it was going
you
to
know,
go.
Phil-
Filipino. So if her mom is Filipino, because in the Philippines, what I said about being trained to marry the men with money,
This isn't
in the
about race.
Philippines,
This is about
I'm talking about money and the way that women are conditioned to behave.
Absolutely.
Some women, so you have women, and I'm not saying she's a prostitute or anything like that. I'm talking about conditioning at this point.
Right.
So I know a lady that's an adult. She calls herself adult companion. She is conditioned that it's a job. And so I said, how do you sleep with men you're not attracted to? She said, there's parts of everybody's job that they don't like, but you do your job anyway. So she's conditioned to put that part out of her mind. These women that are conditioned to marry in all those other countries. So if her mom came over here and is married to an American man, if you don't think she's passing down those cultural traditions of choosing a man based on how he can provide for you, that is what her mom. If her mom is now, if her dad's Filipino, then I'm just completely.
I'm just
wrong.
gonna share a little context. Wait.
Nothing wrong with choosing a
hold on.
provider.
A little
Nothing wrong
context.
with
There is
that.
one
A
more
little
thing.
Nothing
context.
wrong
though.
with that.
Go.
You guys said it. I want to make sure everybody heard it. She would have him drive her to parties where she would go hang out and have romantic
That
experiences
was her
with
fun.
other men.
You've never been whooped before.
That was her fun.
That was
He is her bag.
Listen, I'm just going.
What does
I'm
she
saying
do
is
anyway?
he
Does she
paying
have a job?
him paying attention.
Oh, she
I'm
don't
not
do
judging. I have no judgment.
I'm just gonna
What's
say
his
this.
judgment? What's his
Okay.
judgment of it? No,
Right.
God bless.
Here's-
What's his judgment of that?
I'm going. Wait.
How do you interpret it? How
Can
many
I-
men did
can I-
you
wait,
drive
wait.
to the parties to go sleep with other women and then pick them
Let
up
me
and be their
ask you-
ride?
Oh, okay. There's a lot
Does
of
she
questions.
do
No.
anything? What does she
happened?
do? What is her profession?
Okay, go down the list. I don't know.
Being Travis's
What
wife
her
now.
profession
Shit,
is.
full-time
Second
job.
question.
Well, okay, this is just one comment I wanted to make.
I know.
Is
We're all
that-
over the
I didn't
place.
go to
with
There
parties
that.
to
is-
sleep with men.
There is
No, the
a
other way
high
around. Would
percentage-
you drop a man off to go sleep with other women and still claim him
Is it
and marry
fact?
him with
Is
no
it-
prenup after you got your millions of
Wait,
dollars?
wait.
There
is
is
it
a-
is it a fact? Is it a fact?
That's
that
$100
she
million
said
contract?
No,
Oh.
that she said out of her mouth that I went to a party to go sleep with other men, or is people making up these
She said
stories?
entertain. She didn't say I went.
she-
I went
Enter-
to a party to f other men,
Okay,
but she
to
did
entertain
out her
other
own mouth.
men doing what? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Again, you think that the rest of the
I
world
just-
is biased, but I think you're more biased
Okay,
than the
listen.
rest
No,
of the
I'm playing
world.
I'm
devil's
just-
advocate. Don't. Let,
All
let
right,
me,
I'm
let
gonna
me
let you
say
have
this.
your
I'm
devil's
a devil's
advocate.
advocate type of person. I'm not.
What are you advocating
But don't-
for? That's what I'm asking
This
you.
is what
What
I'm
are you- what's
advocating.
the
This is
advocate?
what I'm advocating for. Seriously,
Young
I'm a
love.
devil's advocate. This man decided at a young age to marry. I want more black men to make a decision
To marry.
and to figure it out and work it out instead of prolonging.
They not
marriage.
capable
Okay.
of
Number one,
23.
That's the one thing. Whether it's 23, our
One.
back in the
That was
day
the one.
people
Your
got
brain not
married
developed
young.
yet. Let your brain develop
I'm
first.
not
Let
saying
your brain
that it
finish
is, but
developing first.
Coming from a two-parent household with two parents that
I had
got
that
married
too.
young,
I didn't do that. They didn't do
Despite
that.
their disagreements, they stayed married. So my brain is wired different.
Mine
That is
too, but
called
my
an
brain didn't get
exception
wired that
to
way.
A rule,
So at the end of the day,
an exception to a rule.
but what I'm saying is, even if you delay marriage, that does not mean that it's going to work out. There are people that have gotten married
That's true.
older. It's about what you're doing on working on your
Y'all-
decision.
y'all
This
changed the
man
topic.
And you
had
can't work on
another
yourself.
wait, wait.
at
Y'all done
23,
changed the
right?
Rabbit
topic.
hole.
I just want to.
This ain't about delaying marriage.
Thing
It's
real
about
quick.
paying attention
Let
to who you're marrying. I don't care how old
Listen,
you are.
I just want to say this thing real quick, and I think that this has a lot to do with, especially why people saying he should have delayed marriage, because there is a pretty much an epidemic when it comes to professional athletes, is that a couple of years after they have finished their careers, their wives divorce them.
Absolutely.
And part of it, and there's usually there's two things that go into that. One is because women are addicted to lifestyle. And so while I may not like you like that, I may not be passionate for you like that, because of a lifestyle that you can provide, I'll do this time. The other thing is because I think that plays a big role in it, is when professional athletes are in their careers, they get a lot of attention.
And that
they do what they
attention
want to
stops.
do.
Yes.
They do what they want to do, whether it be with other women and things like that. And the reality is that, you know what, it's only so long somebody's going to accept that or take that or whatever. As soon as, you know, whatever it is that you are providing that they have attached themselves to you for in the first place is over with, then I'm gone. And so when you look at this young lady, for a lot of people, she fits that almost stereotypically by her actions and things she has said. So anybody from the outside looking in, looking at the things that she has said, looking at what has happened with professional athletes over the years,
Absolutely.
plus with him being young, because I'm going to tell you, there isn't a young man who has been a professional athlete that has gotten married young that did not have a roster outside of his wife.
Oh, well.
So
that's
now
still
he
true.
may
That's
not,
to be
that may not apply to him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that guy, but it may not apply to him. But her actions still apply to her. She fits the bill almost stereotypically.
To the T.
And that's what people are commenting on.
Can I just
Whether
say
they're
what,
wrong
what
or right,
Xavier
that's
said?
what the problem is.
I really like what you said, and I practice this, right? This is just in our family. I practice. I got 18 nephews, right? The girls are my sisters and brothers, my 5 sisters and brothers all had boys. Then the boys start having boys, right? So we do want that for them. I tell my nephews all the time. My parents used to say it to them. We want you, go ahead, date. You can bring Trinity home for Thanksgiving, you know, Xavier home for Christmas, and Gina home for New Year's Eve, right? But don't make any permanent plans with them, right? If you're dating, you can date. You can do whatever we want you. We want you to have your own apartment. We want you to have your own career. We want you to have your own money first. And this is raising boys, right? But the reality is, one of my nephews, you know, they fell in love, they made the baby, and then they broke up. And now the baby is 2, and he says, we're not together anymore. My new girlfriend is coming for Christmas, and my old girlfriend can't come. I said, are you crazy?
She got
Do
the
you
baby.
think that you have just allowed you made a baby,
Right.
and that she's gonna leave her 2-year? You're not the custodial parent. You're gonna leave her 2-year-old to be with you, right? And so it's just a family joke, right? That you now all of a sudden are gonna come and take the baby. I think what we really and truly want for all of our kids, we don't want our daughters necessarily married right away. We can't have it both ways. When our children get caught up in some stuff, and they say, "Oh, we're gonna try them as an adult," right? We say they're not an adult. They're still adolescent. White kids get, oh, that's just what they did in college, right? But the prenup is the bigger thing for the marriage. So I just say that to say, like, we all want that for our kids. We want them to date and do some things. And I hear you when you say, I would like for us to marry earlier. Come on up to the mic. It'll shut me up. I do understand that you want that, right? But I also know the other number one thing that stops marriage is financial difficulties. And when you don't have the money, I don't want you married at 19 and both of you all out here trying to work and get some stuff done. I'm sorry, I want her to go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, I know celebrity is surrounded by money, period. Men, women, or whatever. So let's talk about what his name, Anthony Edwards. Okay, I don't know if y'all, the one who paid the $1 million or is supposedly paying the $1 million.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my thing is, okay, so we're talking
fake
about
news, yeah.
the young kids and getting older, and he's 23, she's 38. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, and that's his kid's mother, right? And so we talking about parent involvement and all of that type of stuff. And so if he's paying his child support up front for 18 years and he don't want to have nothing to do with that kid, then what kind of man is he?
So
The guy who was just trying to have sex.
wait
not make a baby.
though. That didn't happen.
I said allegedly.
Allegedly,
No, but
right.
but
It
we
didn't
can
happen.
just-
I'm saying
yeah,
it didn't happen,
it
right?
didn't happen.
But the whole scenario, that's an excellent
But
scenario.
he said
you mean
he
it
didn't
didn't
want nothing to
happen?
do.
I read
He
that
didn't. He
too.
didn't pay the. He didn't.
I read
No,
that
he-
too.
that was-
I'm
that was-
saying
that
that
was a
was
fake
it wasn't
story.
real. The woman came on and said it, right? So I appreciate you saying that allegedly, right?
Right.
But lots of people, that was a great relationship topic because lots of people jumped on that and said the financial part. They said if she gave $1 million right now for the next 18 years or whatever, what happens next year when he gets a $200 million contract? She's supposed to be getting 20%. So we just talked about that. So we do know that that's not real.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right about you're not involved with your children. We ask a lot of men regularly, if you had the chance, do you want to be were you trying to make a baby with Gina and be with her forever, or were you trying to have unprotected sex? So many of them
Gina
say,
kicks in your door. They just want.
I wanna have
unprotected.
unprotected sex.
She's an
I'm just saying.
influencer, so from my understanding, that's how he thought he wanted it. And
Yeah.
went for it. Yeah, but she's also his kid's mother, right? And so she's older.
Yeah.
They was like, "What is this older lady doing with this young boy? Why not?"
They said that about Usher's wife, remember?
Okay, what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
why,
She's
if we trying to secure the
cashing
bag, unfortunately, kids are
A bag.
the casualty of war,
They
and
are.
so that's just
They
not-
are.
as the men. How do y'all feel about that?
Look,
How do we feel about what?
about
About her being 38 and him 23, and if okay, so you said
Let's
that's
just
allegedly.
say-
So what do you know
let's
about
just
that
say
No,
that's a
situation?
No,
scenario.
I'm just
Let's
saying
take it
he
as
didn't
a
pay the $1
scenario.
million
He did
up
not.
front.
But if
Okay.
he did, let's take it as a scenario.
Why?
well, let's all right. Well,
Make
the
it up
question
to talk
is how
about
do
it?
we
I don't know.
how do we feel about the age difference?
Well, I mean, because if we're talking about scenarios, hypothetically, we saying this 23-year-old girl and this boy, they might not make it. Okay, so
Well, I didn't say they
Right.
might not make it.
All right,
I
so-
said
They
he
may
should
not
pay
make it,
attention
but-
to her.
hypothetically
No, I get what
speaking,
you're saying.
Hypo-
35,
hypo-
23. So why is she wrong for dating this
I'm
23-year-old man?
I'm not saying she's wrong because first of all, as a 23-year-old boy or man or whatever, he probably wanted to have sex with an older woman. Like I think that most guys at younger
With a banging
age
body.
kind of is kind of feeling that or want that or whatever. We've all looked at a fine teacher or whatever. So yes, so that's not. I'm not going to look at her and feel any kind of way about her because that's a young fella's dream. The only issue, I have no issue really with her. I have an issue with him because they mess up their money with that, right? And because now you got one, you have a child that you don't want to take care of. That creates something that creates a traumatic experience for the child.
That's the detriment to the community.
Right. And then you have a situation where, it takes money from you. There's a lot of guys, NBA, NFL, whatever, when after they leave, stop playing, they go broke. Part of that is because of child support, supporting people who you shouldn't
Family
be
members.
supporting and
Yeah,
all of those
friends.
things. If you gonna trick, meaning if you gonna be hoeing out or whatever, take the precautions. He not just having raw sex. He busting.
Yeah.
He busting in them too. Like he because it's really
We
hard
talk
really to
for
get a
women
girl
that are pregnant. Yes.
It's
When we
really
talk
hard to get
fertility.
it is
We talk
really hard to
fertility.
get a woman pregnant
Yes.
if you pulling out.
It's
I
hard
mean
to get
it's
a woman
hard
pregnant.
period.
It's hard to get a woman
So
pregnant. Period.
he's in there if
It has to
these
be
guys
the perfect
No,
mixture.
it ain't that hard.
no
It
is.
has to be the perfect
It
mixture,
has to.
guys. You
Listen,
gotta
I got
telling
my
understand
tubes tied because
fertility.
it doesn't
Listen,
seem to be that
I'm
hard
telling
to
you.
get me
Yeah.
pregnant.
It's really hard. So I'm just saying, I don't have an issue. My issue is with him. If you want to be out there, there's tons and tons of guys who've
Yeah.
been out there like
Wrap up.
that.
Uh-oh.
Be careful.
Okay,
I
I'd
just
love to
wanna
jump
go-
all over that because
No,
she did
you
ask the
said-
guys. She asked the guys. She
But
said,
you
how did
said
the
it was
guys
a
feel?
scenario, and you're not talking hypotheticals. You said that. And
Right.
you laughed.
That's
Okay, well, let
about
him go ahead and go.
That's about him paying the $1 million.
Let him go ahead and go.
But she said about the age difference, and
Right.
so one part of me is like, hey, it's within the law; they can do whatever they want to. One part that bothers me a little bit though is that she has a son the same age as him, and I don't know what that's psychological.
Yes.
See, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yes.
Oh, not
Oh,
the other
Drea,
chick.
yeah, 'cause
right,
she
right.
got a young
Jalen.
dude,
I'm thinking
too.
about Jalen and not Anthony Edwards. The chick with Anthony Edwards is 38.
Yes. Yes. She's 38.
Yeah, she 38.
God bless. He grown. She grown.
Not
So
no one
22.
gets-
grown.
We got to go back to what we had. 23. They're still
You
a
just
kid.
gotta
No
be-
one.
still
No.
kids.
You gotta
I
be
mean,
careful
Lesson
though.
break.
you can't. We don't get to. We gonna get to decide for people. If you old enough to go to war, you old enough to go to jail. You old enough to have a drink. You old
I
enough to
agree
be
with
in
that.
debt. You old enough to. I don't get to decide for you. Do I think that that sometimes older people prey on younger people? Yes. Do I think that sometimes older people and younger people, because of who that younger person is and who that older person is, get along better than the other
Yes.
people that they met up with?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. So I
agree
really
with
don't
that.
get. I'm not too heavily invested in trying
In
to
that.
stop the movement of grown people
We
getting
said
with grown
that.
people.
All right, let's
Trying to stop again.
quickly. I know
Gina,
you had something to say,
with
right?
a G, kick in the dough, Gina.
Come on, hurry up. Get on the mic. You forgot? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we got any other audience questions, comments? Come on up to the mic. Okay. All right, so we're going to wrap up. Okay, Ray, what's your question? You start with your final words.
All right. As far as it's hard to discern whether or not everybody sees what you are blind to when it comes to somebody you love. I think at the end of the day, like it was said, it is your life, it is your decision. It's your decision. But I do think that when you have people who you trust, you should at least consider, and it should make you more interested or paying more attention to the person you were with. Kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah,
Gina?
Yeah, the person that you're with. I guess I do now. There's a change in my clothes because what I want to say is because what we keep talking about is relationships and marriage and things like that, is that marriage is a legal document that has to be entered in. It requires a judge to get in and a judge to get out. People keep forgetting that, right? Love the guy argued me down, said, no, my pastor married us. Yeah, I had to go to City Hall and get a license.
Yeah.
Apply.
There's this judge, Tim Evans, who signs off on it, right? So that's the legal side of things that people don't get. Love has, is great and wonderful and stuff, but the marriage part is the part that's the legal side, and I want us to always be cognizant of that because that's a business. Marriage is a business, and it requires a contract to get in and out of it. The other part of that, even with these contracts, and we talking about the violence on men and the assaults on men. Talking about a 38-year-old with my 23-year-old nephew is an assault on a male. Talking about marrying my nephew when he got a $200 million contract. Okay, maybe not because you're both kids and stuff, right? Those are bigger things, but the assaults on men can happen. So that's what I want to close with, including financial assaults.
And Yatin?
Awesome. Everybody, no matter how smart you are, no matter how self-aware you are, everybody has blind spots. And so the only possible way for you to be able to see your blind spots is if you have somebody or somebodies around you that you can't, not that you do trust, but that you actually can trust to help you see those blind spots. That might be a therapist, that might be a best friend, that might be a family member, but certainly there are some things that you will not be able to see from where you stand. And so my thing is that people have to make sure that they're in a healthy position to be able to see things clearly themselves, but then also have someone or someone's around them to help them see those blind spots so you can just make healthy decisions for yourself. So whether it be Cardi B, Travis Hunter, his newly wed wife, or these older women that, making romantic decisions from a place of trauma and from a place of being triggered will always result in more challenging, more difficult, nearly impossible circumstances to be able to have a healthy romantic experience, whether you're married, dating, or in a relationship.
All right, and my final words, and then we're going to go right into question 4. Y'all good with that?
Sure.
Or anybody need a break? Okay, so my final, as a woman who been in relationships since I was 15, it is a bad idea to be committed when you really should be figuring out who the heck you are. You don't know who you are yet. You need to figure out what you want to do with your life and who you are. That is so important because being in all of those especially as a woman, because in relationships, we tend to cater to our men more. I mean, that's, technically what we do is we tend to cater to our men more. So you become what the man pretty much wants. And then once you are, and I went from relationship to relationship without much break in between. My first relationship and my second relationship overlapped because the first one didn't want to let go. But I had already met the second one, right? And so then I went right from one into the other. And then I had 7 months single as an adult, right? At 23, I met my husband. And but I didn't get married till I was 27, okay? So I did wait till my brain was fully developed to make that decision, right? But I'm just saying. And then once he died, then that was the first, because I was grieving, right? That was the first time I had been single for any real time since I was an adult. And I was single for probably 3 years. I started dating after like 18 months or something like that, But during that time, I realized that I really didn't know who the heck I was because I hadn't been single since I was freaking 15, So that whole delay of marriage, you don't have to delay marriage, but you do need to first know who you are and what you want out of life so that you could choose somebody who also wants to support you in what you want out of life, and you not just completely catering to other people, and then you wind up not knowing who the heck you are. Now, at this point, this is actually the longest I've been single. I've been single for 3 years now, right? And so at this point, I know absolutely who I am, and I really love my freedom because I have been in relationships too long. I mean, so long, not too long, but so long. So the original question was, should we allow people to make those decisions for us or make those choices for us, or what weight does their thing? I don't think that their input, like I said before, it doesn't carry any weight. But I advise all young people, and I've told Trinity this, you need to know who you are, what you want out of life, and then you choose somebody who matches that. They blend in. I believe heavily in lifestyle compatibility. And until you actually know what your lifestyle is, you can't really choose anybody that really fits into that. And these two are very young. They're about to go into a whole new lifestyle. They don't know if they're going to be compatible in that or not. But I wish them all the luck in the world.
I'm sorry. This is a serious question, though. This is not a devil advocate question. My question is why can't you speak into the universe, God, whatever, to be able to choose somebody that will grow with you? Because who you are at 23, at 33, and 43, you may go back to who you were at 43 when you were 23. You are forever evolving and forever changing, right? Right. So at the end of the day, when you say, "Oh, I don't know who I am," you may not know who you are at 53 because you still are continue to grow.
No, you're gonna grow and change, but you have a better foundation.
To some people, have a better foundation. You have a better foundation. Not everybody have a better foundation,
unless they have mental health issues. I mean, everybody has their own.
There's a lot of people.
And I know there are. That's why I did say that. Unless they have mental, because there are a lot of people who have mental health issues, and they have trauma that has affected their development as well. It doesn't mean they have a mental health issue, but they have a trauma that has stagnated them, right? So I agree that I just say your question one more time.
What I'm saying is, why can't we as a people
speak life and say,
I want to be with somebody that is going to help me grow, that we can grow together, because I don't know where the road is going to take me.
Let me answer that real quick.
Like, why I gotta
because
get to know myself?
what we don't need to do is make a relationship the whole crux of our life.
That I understand.
You don't have to be in a relationship to be happy or successful in life. And so that's part of the problem, is that everybody is so focused on relationship, focused on creating the life that you love to live, so that if nobody else is around, you still happy.
And that's fine.
That woman right there is one of my role models. She don't even know it. But she does everything, and she'll do it by herself. It don't even matter.
This is what I'm getting at.
But
nobody
is what you need.
I feel like that people preach singleness too much.
It's not singleness.
It's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is, but you could be self-love in a relationship too. Like, you don't have to deny yourself of that. Correct. Right? Because who I am in a relationship is not necessarily who I am as a single adult, if that makes sense, right? Yes. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm just going to go cater to this person and forget about me." But it's two totally different people, if we're going to be honest, right? For me, I would
It
say that
shouldn't
for me.
necessarily be.
It is in some regard, right? I may not focus so much on business when I'm in a relationship with somebody, when I will focus more so on business when I'm single, because I particularly have that time.
You should be you, whether regardless.
But you change. I may not want to be who I am as a single person with somebody, right? All I'm saying is this. This is not about me. This is
Gina has her
about
bonus question.
why do we
Gina.
continue to say that find yourself. I'm not saying don't find yourself, but it's like it's such a negative pushback when people desire to want to find themselves with someone and want to
because
pick
that's not
partners
yourself.
in
When you
terms
with
to
someone,
grow.
that's not yourself.
You
I'm
gotta
with
need to
you
grow.
right now. If you told me two 21-year-olds and said they about to get married, and you showed me two 50-year-olds and said they about to get married, they both got a 50-50 shot. I ain't finna tell you that the 50-year-old's gonna make it, and the 20-year-old ones, we don't know. We don't know, and we never.
Because at 50, you can really set in your ways.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least
You are
one,
setting your
you're
ways.
gonna be
We don't know.
viable. Yeah.
All right,
it's
so what's the
really
fourth
fun. We got
question?
There was some
speak
bonus
into
questions.
existence.
There was
Xavier
a-
has bonus questions every.
There's another question.
I
You
thought there was.
got to be on the mic.
I don't have a question. All right, I'm sorry. I don't have a question, but Verdi says this. How do you find anything if you don't have experience? You have to experience something sometimes to even learn who you are. If you don't, if there was nobody in this world and you was just by yourself, what kind of growth would you have? You would only be what you come across. So going back to what y'all was saying that African Americans are treated to push marriage off. It's not that they're treated to push marriage off. It's kind of like what she said. If you're trying to find yourself, you're trying to say, I don't need nobody in a sense. Where other nationalities are kind of geared up to, we have to do this, we have to do this. Togetherness. But if you start out by saying, I need to find myself first, then inherently you're saying, I'm pushing every relationship off, which will cause a delay because time goes on.
That's not pushing. So finding yourself is not pushing relationships off. So you are experiencing those relationships, but you're getting into those relationships, and marriage is not necessarily your primary focus. Everybody that you meet is not intended to be your husband or wife. Some people come into your life because there's a lesson that you need to learn, and that is part of finding yourself. But nowadays, everybody is so marriage focused that they want to jump like the young boy. He's right into a marriage at 23, and okay, I'm just like that. Your brain not even all the way developed. Because at 25, when they turn 25, there's going to be a difference. I was different at 25 than I was at 23. I was different at 30 than I was at 25. You know, you change as you learn and grow. And I was in relationships, but I was in committed relationships. And I just, from my experience, I'm only talking about my experience, I think that being in those relationships was a bad idea because I should have been dating more people. You call it hoeing around. I don't call it hoeing around because everybody that you date, you ain't got to sleep with. But I feel like I should have experienced more people and personalities and lifestyles and likes and dislikes, because one of the things that I have learned is that men are all different. There's all different kind of men that do all different kind of things. And it's really exciting. They have all different kind of conversations and hobbies, all kind of different things. So you need to be able to experience those things and figure out what it is that you like and want in your life.
May I say something?
We got to hurry up so we can get to the fourth question, but go ahead.
I think that sometimes we get certain things mixed up. So this is culture. This is our culture. Like when we compare, like their culture is totally different from what our culture is. Like they have a culture of like legacy and duty. Most like especially European and Asian or whatever. That's their culture. And so they get married younger because their culture is of legacy and duty. We don't have that in our culture. It's like they play football, we play golf. Golf is an individual sport, and that's how black people are raised for the most part. And so when we're saying, all right, these young people are getting married, or they getting married while we think that is not the good thing to do, it's because we don't have the culture and the mindset to really sustain that, because we are so distracted by entertainment and what's out there. Just like she said, I think that back in the day, I should have experienced more people. Well, let me tell you, studies show the more people you experience, the more likely you are to divorce later in life. And so, but when you have a culture of legacy and duty, you're not thinking about what it is you're missing. You're thinking about what it is what your ultimate goal is.
And that's
so
what I was talking about when we was talking about the Philippine thing. But so what people forget is that divorce is not the only way that marriage is in. So I was a 33-year-old widow, and that was the first time that I really had to experience myself. So I just want people to be able to I want younger people, over 25, to be able to make sound decisions based on the fact that they have an idea of the life they want to live and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I was very stagnant because I didn't get a chance to really, I knew what my first boyfriend wanted. I broke up with him because he was very limited in what he wanted to do in life. He was, be happy with what you got. That was his thing. Be happy with what you got. And that wasn't my thing. I was just like, no, I want some other shit. I'm not happy with what I got. I need to go get some other stuff. The second one, he was just, we were young. We moved to Atlanta. Magic City existed. It just, went south after Magic City existed. And then I was saying, it did. That's the truth. He went to Magic City on my birthday. I was like, oh, Kara, you can't cuss at me like that. I'm leaving you right now. So, yeah, I broke up with him after that. Like, you can't go to Magic City on my birthday and leave me at home. It's my birthday. Y'all know how I am about my birthday.
He didn't drop you at the club.
Girl, he took me home.
You were supposed to
Drop him at
drive him and sit outside and wait for him.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing no. No,
That's what she was supposed to do.
That wasn't what I was gonna do. But anyway,
I thought women was
I'm gonna
trained to
wrap
work.
this up.
I thought you were
Did
trained
have
to
another
work with
quick
us.
question?
Yes.
Did you have anything else to say?
I got one thing to say
Yes.
for all of us. Regardless of how much we experience, it really doesn't make us any better in picking the next person.
I think it does.
No, it doesn't.
I think it
don't
does.
so.
No.
I agree with
I know
you.
who
It
not
It doesn't
to pick.
automatically. It
I know who
can
not to
and
pick.
it cannot.
It only teaches us what we don't want.
Yes.
Right. So
But
you
it does
pick.
not-
You don't
wait,
pick
wait,
somebody
wait.
who don't.
But you don't. But the thing is, like for me, like I got asked the question, like, what is the
I
question
agree
that you hate to be
I
asked?
agree.
When they ask you, what are you looking for? I'm like, well, if I knew exactly what I was looking for,
I've been here.
I would have her.
Yes.
And I would say, hey, there she is over there.
Yeah.
But experience does not teach us to be a better chooser of the next partner.
It
You
just
have
chooses
to
us
get
what we
in
don't
there
want. Yeah.
and see and try to make it work in every situation. I don't care what kind of experience you have. That is not going to. Just like you said, you pick the next person. You go into the next relationship expecting them to be better than the last one, or you wouldn't go into the next relationship. That's common sense, I think.
I
I
go
think
in-
healing makes you, maybe not age, right? But healing can make
Healing
you a
does.
better picker of the type of person you should deal with, because when we're broken and we choose people through our brokenness, we're repeating the cycle of pain and hurt.